and we gave them an incentive. We did, we used those 4 E's. You know, we educated, we encouraged, we did enforcement. We went to our neighborhood police department and said, we need your help to slow down the traffic. We need crossing guards. All of those things were put into place. And the program has really just exploded. You know, we put all this in our proposal, and we were really fortunate to be chosen to implement. And the first year, we started last year, we started out, we had maybe 10 or so kids who were taking advantage of the walking school bus. And the first week, the second week we had 15, the third week we had 20, and it's continued to grow ever since. So we've got our kids, our teachers love walking field trips. We did over 35 of them last year, and to date I've approved almost 40 for this year. So that's growing. So what I want to say is, people kind of think in the box of walking to school means you have to live in the neighborhood. And what we were able to do is to present an opportunity to our children to think of walking and biking as part of their lives. We did a bike rodeo. Out of the bike rodeo grew a bike club. We thought we'd get maybe 15 or 20 kids. We had almost 100 kids sign up. And so we had to break our bike club into 4 different quarters. Every quarter we have a different group of kids going through the bike club. So I think there's a lot that can be done. This grant, we did get, our signs are up and working, so we have crossing, people are aware that the school is there again. We've got school zone signs and lights. So we're seeing the improvement on the infrastructure side and the enforcement side from our partners at the police station and across the city crossing guards. And then we're seeing the improvement in our kids' attitudes. This year, our PE department and our PE department and our food service department got together and got together with our faculty and said, let's do a seed to table program where the kids are actually growing the seeds, starting plants, growing vegetables. The kitchen is going to use that in special dishes each week. And so we're putting the science and the math and the physical education together so that the kids are participating in a full program. We were chosen as a partner with the American Culinary Federation this year. And the chefs are coming into the kitchen, and they're going to work with our food service staff and our students to build healthier recipes. So it took that first little spark from Safe Routes to School to have this really explosive kind of response inside the school to how important it is for our kids to eat healthy, to be active, and to engage in their neighborhood. I have to say, we have people who sit on their front porches every morning because they want to wave to our kids as they walk by. So it's been a tremendous program for us. We really feel like we've improved our neighborhood. We feel like we've improved our children and our parents' outlook to the whole walking, biking, community engagement. So we are very grateful, but like I said, the big thing is I want to encourage you all, just think outside the box, because initially we thought this is something we could never do because we didn't fit the definition of a community school where kids were walking and biking to school. But we found that there is a place for that, and so we really encourage everybody to look and to make those creative choices. And if you need any help at all, our parent committee, myself, we're happy to help you put together a proposal that will help bring all the elements together. Thank you.
It's great. For questions and some discussion with you all about some of the things that the panelists said and some of the things that you're thinking. And we really want to have this discussion so that the coalition can move forward on some of your thoughts and ideas about what they've said and what the challenges are for you as you think about these issues, and so we can act on them, because we don't want to talk about these things about moving forward in some way. So, love to hear your thoughts.
I have a question.
Sure.
Do you have numbers on how many kids are actually walking to school? Maybe sort of estimate in terms of how many kids they dropped off versus walking or biking?
Not citywide numbers, no.
There
That's
is,
something we have to go to each individual school for.
and Dr. Andre Perry, and working with the Cowan Institute at Tulane University, the Cowan Institute for Public Education Initiatives, has worked with them to do some of that data analysis. And so they, as of a couple of years ago, they had those numbers, and they're pulling together I think the professor's name is from sociology, to do a transportation study. Their focus is on transportation and student learning outcomes. We're very interested in that data to think about, well, transportation and health outcomes. But they're looking at that data now, and we'll be releasing a report to talk about that from the Cowan Institute, to look at where are kids coming from and going to for all the different charter schools around the city, and what are the rates of walking and biking. When I helped put together the application for Drew, it was there was, it was it wasn't a charter school at that time, but there was open access throughout the city in 2007, 2008 for kids to enroll in whatever school they could. So at Drew, you had probably, I would say 50% who lived within the neighborhood and 50% who lived outside the neighborhood. So still a good proportion. By within the neighborhood, I mean within 2 miles. So still a good proportion of kids who live nearby.
What about for ISL?
We actually had very few of our students come from the neighborhood. So we went from almost no children walking to school to about 10 to 15% of our kids now participate in the walking school bus. So
And how far is the distance that they go?
they walk 4 blocks.
Okay.
So from the expressway to the school, it's a little over, it's right about a quarter mile.
And then in the afternoon, do they walk back as well, or is there pickup?
They do pick up, but one of the changes we made, actually before we even got the Safe Routes to School program, is we used to do the traditional sort of car pickup line where you drove up and somebody got your kid and put it in the car. And we discovered literally, we would have parents who would pull up outside the school 10 or 15 minutes before school let out, and would sit in their cars and their engines would be running.
What a nightmare.
And we'd walk up the school building and it would be 10 degrees hotter in that 1 o'clock than it would be, down the street. It was ridiculous. So we said to people, we don't want this, we don't want to walk out the building, the kids are walking right into this sort of congestion that they don't need, and it was filtering up into our classrooms. So we eliminated the car pickup line, and we have the kids line up outside on our playground, and the parents have to park and walk in to pick up their kids. And one of the better, we knew that this would eliminate that traffic congestion, but what we didn't anticipate is now that our parents are actually parking and walking onto the playground, they're getting to know each other better. They're talking to teachers every day because they have to check out their child from the teacher. And so we see improvements in our children's behaviors. We see cohesion in our community that is a direct result of making this change, this policy change, of eliminating that car line